What's up guys, it's Aaronitmar, and today we have some more unused and beta content to talk about, this time for the latest entry in the Super Smash Bros. Series, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Just like Smash 4, this game was developed during the modern internet era, which means that a lot of the information that we learned about the pre-release version of the game comes from live streams and interviews and demos that they had at different events throughout the entire world. A lot of stuff changed, from gameplay to sound and audio to full-on graphics that look totally different in the final version of the game, so we're going to talk about all that stuff in this video. But first, 75% of you guys who watch my videos don't actually subscribe to my channel for whatever reason, and I am really close to 200,000. I'm less than 14,000 subscribers away, so if you guys please could subscribe to the channel and help me hit that 200,000 goal before the end of the year, that would just be awesome. And with that, let's jump straight into the video and talk about scrapped characters that were considered at one point but ultimately passed over. First up is Alucard, who was considered to be a representative for the Castlevania series due to the popularity of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Overall though, Sakurai thought that the most number of people would be happy if he included two Belmonts, one that is popular overseas and one that was popular in Japan, and so that is how we ended up with both Simon and Richter. Most people would be familiar with one of those two fighters, even if it was just that they had heard of them, and so Alucard was made a simple assist trophy and a background stage character. Two game franchises didn't get picked up for Smash Ultimate's base roster merely because of poor timing. The project plan for Smash Ultimate was finished before the announcements of both ARMS and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And because Sakurai didn't want to deviate from his project plan for fear of the game being delayed, neither of these franchises received full fighter reps. Instead, they received an assist trophy, Mii Fighter costumes, and spirits. Decidueye was also a potential fighter for the base roster, or at the very least was one of the heavy considerations. Sakurai knew going into Smash Ultimate that he wanted a Generation 7 Pokemon in the roster, but he wanted to wait until more of the Pokemon had been revealed before they made a final decision. After seeing all of the starters and presumably the rest of the Alola decks, Incineroar was ultimately decided on, likely because of the unique wrestling moveset that he could have. Sakurai stated in a Dragon Quest XI's livestream that he was perfectly fine with turning a slime into a fighter if Square Enix denied his request for Hero, but of course they fortunately were totally on board with this idea. He also originally planned for all 8 of Hero's costume slots to be a different Dragon Quest protagonist, but time constraints for the DLC release left him only including 4 of the heroes, and each of them receiving 1 recolor. And speaking of characters, several characters that were already in the Smash roster underwent various changes from the reveal and the demo to the final release. Bayonetta had an unintended use of her side special, Afterburner Kick. If you used Afterburner Kick followed by a downward Afterburner Kick, she would gain a second Afterburner Kick. She's really only supposed to have 2 no matter what, and this was of course patched in the final release. Donkey Kong still has the model in his data for the bongo drums, which was used in his final Smash in both Brawl and Smash 4. Strangely, despite not being used at all in Ultimate, the bongo drums model and textures both received updates to make them more high resolution and higher poly, which suggests that maybe the final Smash was intended to return at some point before being replaced by Jungle Rush. Pac-Man had 2 significant changes to his moveset. In his character trailer, he was able to attack the water that sprays out of his hydrant, causing it to disappear. His trampoline was also apparently able to be attacked, turning it green and putting enemies into a helpless state when they interacted with it. Neither of these traits made it to the final game, and they instead act just as they did in Smash 4. Piranha Plant was originally going to have a 3rd jump, however in the Day 1 patch of Ultimate this was changed back to 2 jumps. The files for Piranha Plant existed on the 1.0.0 version of the game before any patches, and the animation can actually still be found in the data. In a similar fashion, Joker was going to have a rapid jab based on the early data mining of his files. However, this was changed and he simply has a 1-2-3 jab combo in the final release. King K. Rool's counter has a very strange coding scenario. The move's code states that he should take some damage during the counter, but the multiplier sets the taken damage to 0. Additionally, the game states that his counter uses belly super armor, which is what the game refers to as K. Rool's passive ability to absorb hits up to a certain amount of damage. The theory is that rather than coding two entirely separate systems, the counter move is simply given belly super armor with no damage. This way it saves developers time and also allows them to use the same sound effect for both abilities. Olimar's data includes the animations for his old Pikmin chain recovery, as well as the Pikmin's pummel animation. However, Pikmin chain was replaced by winged Pikmin as a recovery move, and Olimar pummels the opponent himself rather than forcing his Pikmin to. Every character with the ability to glide and brawl still retains the code for the ability, just like they did in Smash 4. Strangely though, Ridley, a brand new character, also has code which would hypothetically allow him to glide if the ability was in the game in the first place. It's pretty weird that Ridley would have this, but one theory is that Charizard served as a base for Ridley, and since Charizard has that code carried over, Ridley got it when they basically copy and pasted Charizard. This doesn't really seem to suggest that gliding would make a comeback, as Ridley has no animation that matches the gliding, he simply has the code inside of his data. Mr. Game & Watch's main change is pretty well known due to some social media backlash. Prior to Ultimate's release, Mr. Game & Watch changed appearance far more drastically during his forward smash based on the Fire Attack Game & Watch title. The design in the original game was based on a stereotype for Native Americans, and it received some backlash once it was discovered in the leak of Smash Ultimate. Upon official release, however, the Day 1 patch removed the feather. Game & Watch's old forward smash is actually seen in this clip in Pikachu's trailer for the Smash website. The animation for this was obviously changed, but it's clear that they filmed this trailer before the change to his forward smash was officially finished. Link has an unused model of a fairy in his files. This is most likely just a leftover from Smash 4, as Link receives a new taunt that no longer uses the fairy. In Rosalina's trailer on the Smash Ultimate website, her final smash is simply a giant power star. However, in the final version of Ultimate, it was changed to be a Grand Star. All of the Yoshis in Yoshi's Final Smash use textures from the exact same file in the game. Every color is lumped together, but strangely, Crafted Yoshi is actually on this image as well. This is kind of strange because Crafted Yoshi actually does not appear in the Final Smash whatsoever, but every other color of Yoshi does. This could suggest that Crafted Yoshi was originally going to be in the Final Smash, or that they simply transferred it over in a quick way and left it there because they really didn't need to remove it because it wasn't being used for anything. Bowser's character files have a placeholder file for the reticle that is used during Giga Bowser's Final Smash. It's a very basic circle with crosshairs, and it has some Japanese text across it which literally translates to temporary. The final game of course has a far more polished reticle, but this was not actually removed from the game's files. The stages for Ultimate also have a couple of changes, but they're nothing really too crazy. First, a pre-release screenshot shows the Knuckles Assist Trophy on Green Hill Zone. In the final game, however, this is impossible, as the Assist Trophy is entirely disabled for this stage. The reason for this is that Sonic characters will randomly run in the background of the stage, and Knuckles being a part of that, it would look out of place in the event that Knuckles was fighting and running in the background at the same time. Although we are talking about a game where 8 different Marios can all fight each other all at the same time, but, you know, whatever. The Mementos stage has music from all of the Persona games, including several remixes made specifically for Smash. Both Aria of the Soul and Beneath the Mask were remixed for Smash, but in the game's data, you can find the original tracks in full, completely unedited from the original Persona game. It's unclear why they're in the game, but it could be because they weren't sure which songs they would remix when Joker was decided, or they were simply used as placeholders until the remixes were completed and they simply weren't removed. At the Computer Entertainment Developers Conference 2019 in Japan, development slides were shown off discussing Smash Ultimate's design process, ranging from art styles and technical development to simple development strategies as a whole. During this presentation, concept art was shown for Battlefield that shows that 18 different concepts and designs were considered and revised before the development team arrived at the version that we got in the final game. There is also a mysteriously unused mode called Convention in the game's files. This mode has never been used through all of Smash Ultimate's updates, and nothing in the code suggests what the point of the mode would be. There are only 2 images associated with this, which would have been menu preview graphics. Both are of the flaming Smash Ball used in the teaser trailer, and one has Incineroar, Pit, and Fox on it. And speaking of modes, the classic modes for both Pokemon Trainer and Mega Man were both meant to have stamina routes with 120 HP for each fight. However, while this metric is set in the code, the stamina mode is disabled. Unfortunately, it seems that at one point they were going to have these routes, but they were decided against, and so only Ryu, Hiro, and Terry have Stamina Classic routes as of today's video. Sakurai stated in an interview that he had planned for a mechanic that would counter a campy playstyle. In the same way that there is a mechanic that punishes heavy dodgers by slowing down their ability to dodge, the plan was to lower the run speed to make running away harder for a campy player. But this was scrapped because it proved incredibly difficult to gauge what a campy playstyle was. There's a model for Dragonite that differs from the one found on Kalos Pokemon League. This one is far more detailed and it matches the lighting and art style for the rest of Ultimate, suggesting that Dragonite was at one point going to be a possible Pokemon for the Pokeball item. As I said in my last video, Smash for 3DS has a random beta screenshot of the boxing ring stage hidden in its files. For some reason, this is carried over into Ultimate, but it's in double the resolution. There's no real explanation for this as the image isn't used anywhere in the game, but I guess it's an interesting find nonetheless. And lastly, we have a fact about Sans Undertale. There's an unused texture on the Mii Gunner outfit, which when mapped to the model would be used for his big blue glowing eye. But unfortunately, this is never actually seen in use in the final costume, which is kind of a shame, but hey, we got Sans in Smash, so really, we can't complain. And that is everything in Smash Ultimate's unused content and from the betas. They really seem to have gotten their act together when it came to showing off unnecessary information, especially in the game's files. And I think a lot of this might have to do with the DLC in the game because they don't want data miners to leak anything, so if something is not being specifically used in a particular build of the game, they'll remove it just to make sure that it's not misconstrued in any way. Of course, things still do fall through the cracks, but I feel like this game is the most underwhelming when it comes to information hidden inside of the files. We learn a lot from the past Smash games, but with this one, there's really just not a lot to glean. But I would love to know what you guys found most interesting in this video, and if I somehow missed something, then feel free to let me know down in the comments. This game is constantly being updated, especially with more DLC characters on the way, so it's very likely that more stuff could come out, and so I may end up even doing a part 2 for this video, depending on how much, unused information we actually see from the future patches. So I don't know what the future holds, but I will totally be open to doing a part 2 in the event that I even can do a part 2. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. Please be sure to hit that like button, and if you're new, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, and have an awesome day.